Recording in progress.
So, welcome everyone to our cardio basics class. So, this morning we will be working on getting our heart rate up, working on some interval training, meaning we'll be actively moving, not too much recovery, but we'll get a little bit more recovery in between giant sets or blocks. So, we have 4 blocks, 4 to 5 different exercises. But let's go ahead and begin with our warm up. So let's look left to right. And better news, my neck is feeling a little bit better. Up and down. I think on Monday was its worse. Yesterday it was probably like 30% better. Today I would say it's like 60 or 70. Didn't feel it on my run, but when I started cooling down, walking towards back home, that's when I think all the fatigue hit me and I started feeling it. So let's do our neck circles. Switch. All right, let's push up towards the ceiling. Push, push, push. Let's lean right. Let's go left. Snow angels. So if you're with me at 10 a.m., we have core stability and posture. So we'll be getting a little bit more core in that class. We'll probably start with like an easier set before we start with the bigger sets today. All right, let's go ahead and do trunk rotation. It's supposed to be a warmer day today, I think mid 80s at its highest, so plan your day accordingly. Make sure you're hydrating. Ab circles, hinge at the hip, come across, pump. All right, big hip circles. So big, giant hip circles. Switch. All right, let's go ahead and do our quad stretch because we will be doing a lot of bounding and lunges. So stretch out those quads. Very good. And then just, I believe, the announcement for next week, I believe next Thursday and Friday we don't have classes due to the Juneteenth holiday. But yeah, I'll confirm, but I'm pretty sure that's accurate. So I think next week we go Monday through Wednesday, and then also Saturday. So, all right, let's do our hamstring stretch. So slide your hands down your ankles, and let's pop up. And one more. All right, very good. And then our deep squat stretch. Ooh. So drop down, torso's upright. And shift right to left. And right. All right, very good. Let's go ahead and grab our yoga mat, have that nearby, water, and then, yeah, we'll get started in the next minute or two. So, grab those items. We'll start shortly. All right, and then just a heads up, I will be traveling over the weekend, and so I'll be in a different location, and there's a chance that I might be sick next Wednesday, okay? So just letting you folks know I might be sick, so we might have a video next Wednesday. I'll keep you posted, but there's a...
I love how you know when you're going to be sick.
What's that?
I said, I love when you know you're going to be sick.
Yeah, it's if you've been to Lake Tahoe, there's an area I would like to explore, and it's pretty big, and I think there's gonna be a lot of dust in that air, and my allergies get bad, and you know, it's pollen's in the air, stuff.
I love that.
If you go walking from here to there, you must be exhausted when you get there,
Yeah.
sick.
No lie, when I was up north in Chico from February until early May, I always had to get a nasal spray prescription because of my allergies. And Tahoe's pretty up north, so I'm just saying. So, anyways, I'm glad you folks understand, but I'll keep you posted, okay? If I happen to be sick, there will be a recording. So, but we'll still meet Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday. But just letting you know, just in case. I hope I see you.
Do you know all the pollution that is in Lake Tahoe?
I don't.
Underneath?
No.
Underneath in the water?
I heard of the dead bodies.
You better
so.
Yeah. I hope you don't get into the water.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and do our high knees. So we're gonna go 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. So high knee march, okay? So we're starting off light and then we'll pick it up. All right, so let's go with high knee march. So go ahead and begin. 30 30 seconds right here. No, I'm not familiar with that, Carmen, but I wouldn't be surprised. I know I'll be staying in Truckee, which is north of Tahoe. I know in the 1800s there was a lot of bad stuff that happened at Donner Lake with the railroad tracks, and yeah, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. All right, 30 seconds rest, 20 seconds rest. Oh. Yeah, so not sure. My family, I've been there many times. Family hasn't, so I'd like to explore around. And the whole lake is 72 miles, so it'll take just a whole day just to explore that. We're gonna go ahead and do opposite cross knees, okay? Ready? And begin. So just right here. If anyone has any recommendations about Lake Tahoe and what to see, I've seen a lot, but maybe I've missed something. Go ahead on the chat. Let me know if there's something you folks suggest. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, time. All right, 20 seconds rest. We're gonna do heel to opposite glute on this next one, okay? Whew. Yeah, during my college years, I got into watching The Godfather. That whole series, I watched it all the time. So in the Godfather house, it's in Lake Tahoe. So we made sure to always go check it out. It's pretty cool. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. So again, just right here, you could throw your arms in if you like. I'm good with just my legs right now. But yeah, the air quality up there, it's right here we might deal with like pollution and stuff like that, but up there, yeah, the pollen is, you know, jokes aside, the pollen is pretty high up there. I never understood why, you know, I would always have a stuffy nose or be sick for so long, but went to go get checked out and they're like, oh yeah, it's still pollen in the air, it's getting you in the spring. 3, 2, 1, time. All right, curtain closers next. So we're gonna turn, punch, pull, turn, punch, pull. Okay. We'll start in 15. There you go, Jen's already going, getting some extra seconds there. Just want this back to feel better already. 3, 2, 1, and go. Punch, punch, and pull. Ten more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. All right, so let's go ahead and get 90 seconds rest. We'll count that as our first set. Yeah, right now if I want to drink something out of a cup of water or a can, I can't just tilt my head. I have to like turn my whole back to get water. Really relying on straws right now. All right, so this next set we're gonna have inchworms. Okay, inchworms. We have skaters. So skaters, well, we'll start with skaters right here. Then inchworms. Then we have the Heisman Shuffle, which is our skip, skip, knee, and then bunny hops or calf raises, okay? Probably gonna go with the calf raises. And that 10-mile run kind of, I wouldn't say irritated, but it definitely showed signs of fatigue on my hamstring, my right hamstring and my left calf. So I could tell that if I run a couple more miles, I was probably gonna limp my way home. All right, so skaters, so this is where we're here, just shifting left to right, okay? Getting some knee mobility. 3, 2, 1, and go. Keep on moving. We're at 20 seconds. Three, two, one, time. Got our skaters in. All right. Next we have our Heisman Shuffle. So this one, if you remember, we go side skip, side skip, side skip, knee drive, side skip, knee drive. Okay, if you could make enough room to at least do 3 side skips or 3 shuffles and then the knee drive, that's plenty of space, okay? So 3, 2, 1, go. Side skip, side skip, side skip, knee drive. We're at 20 seconds. Three, two, one, time. Okay. All right. What do we have now? We have our inchworms, okay? So remember, inchworm, you're here, you crawl out into a high plank, and then you crawl back. If you want, you could jump and add a little bit more cardio in there, okay? Add a little bit more quality in there. Alrighty. 3, 2, 1, and go. Then come back into stand-up position, and you could jump if you like. 2, 3, we're halfway there. Just keep moving. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. All right, and then last one on this set is gonna be our bunny hops. So if you're if you're jump roping, okay? If you have a jump rope and you're gonna hit the ceiling, you could use that, or you could just do heel raises, okay? So quick heel raises. Heel raises don't really target your heart so much, but they do target your lower legs, which is what you're getting from the bunny hops. So, ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. You go 40 seconds for these. If you're not doing them too fast, then what I want you to do is at the top, just pause for a little bit before you drop your heels back down. So you're getting a nice calf raise out of it. Good job, Josefina. I could see your virtual background, and I see your little silhouette just jumping. There you go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. Woo. Oh. I gave up on the. Oh, so 90 seconds rest, okay? So, yeah, as I was saying, I think I gave up on the heat training with these classes. I'll do the heat training on a different time. So, alright, so our next one is gonna be reverse lunge kick. So this one's a little quicker. So we do one side first and then the other side. So we go 30 seconds, reverse lunge, kick. Okay, if you need a counter, something to hold on to, you can. That's right leg first, then left leg. Then we go pop squats. Okay, pop squats. Then we go 3 leapfrogs and then walk back or jog back, okay? So, morning Lisa, Teresa, who else showed up? Mr. Ahmed.
Good morning,
Gloria.
sorry.
You're fine. I was about to send you to the principal's office. So, 3 leapfrogs, so it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, and then you could just step back to your original spot or jog back. And then sumo squat jacks. So that's when we are here and we just do this motion. So in the first one, the pop squats, we're here and then we go, we're here and we jump down and do that. The sumo squat jacks are just here, okay? And over the line. So over the line, imagine a line on the floor and just not as fast as the bunny hops, but you're just jumping side to side. So that's gonna help stabilize your ankles too. All right, so 6 on this one because of the reverse lunge kick. We'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. So here. Ten more seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. All right, get ready for the other leg. We'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Remember, you could use a counter if you like. Ten more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Time. Whew. Okay. What do we have next? Our pop squats. Okay. So another 13 seconds rest. And we'll go 30 seconds for the pop squats. 3, 2, 1, and go. And the walking version would just be here, reset. Okay, but if you're gonna go a little quicker, just pop back in. 15 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. Whew. I need a nap today. Our leapfrogs are next. We'll start in 15 seconds. So 3 leapfrogs and walk back, okay? Pay attention to your heart rate. If you want to modify this one, you could do, instead of 3 leapfrogs, you could do 1 or 2. Okay? 3, 2, 1, and go. So 1, 2, 3. Nice. Coming back. 1, 2, 3. Ten more seconds. All right, get your last set in. All right. Oh man, good work. All right, we have our sumo squat jacks. Soon, okay? 20 more seconds. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. So, right here. So we're just holding this bouncing sumo squat, and we are just applying our arms for some shoulder, elbow mobility. Woo! You're gonna burn right above the knees. 10 more seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh. How much is that? Oh, and over the line, okay? So after this one, we get our little rest of 2 minutes. We'll make it 2 minutes after this one. Oh, winded. All right, here we go, over the line. So remember, you're here going over an imaginary line. 3, 2, 1, and go. Halfway there. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. All right, 2 minutes rest. I'm gonna refill my water cup. Be right back. We'll be on the floor for the next set, so if you wanna grab your yoga mat, we'll be on the floor. About 45 seconds left. We're gonna try to do the more active stuff right now. We'll try to save the planks and all that other stuff for our next class. So core stability. Alright, so, and we're gonna add a little bit of strength stuff on this one too. So our first one, we're gonna go ahead and do mountain climbers, okay? So mountain climbers, you're on your fours, bring your knees to your chest, and that's gonna be it, okay? Alright, and then to get a little bit of recovery in between, we're gonna go and do our rested push-ups. So that's when we are on the floor. You rest your hand up and then you push up again, come back down, reset, and repeat that. Okay, and then we're gonna do cross mountain climbers, so a different variation of that. So just trying to, again, eliminate kind of like the core component. We wanna get a little bit more cardio on this one. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. So mountain climbers. 40 seconds, so just keep marching. Knees to your chest. Ten more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. Woo. All right, so the next one is gonna be our rested push-ups. So this one, you just start off like a Superman, okay, belly down. Then you're gonna push yourself up with your arms, reset back into a Superman, hands up, push yourself up, and repeat. So this one we'll do knee assisted, okay, for everyone. About 10 more seconds. And this one's gonna be for 10 repetitions, okay? So you do your own counting on this one. Oh man, sweating. All right, so let's get down on that starting position. And we'll begin in 3, 2, 1, and up, back down, arms up, and then reset again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. All right, rest. So I would recommend getting off your arms. So now it's gonna be cross mountain climbers. So mountain climbers, but driving your knee towards your opposite hip, okay? Just getting a little bit more hip mobility in there, and then getting your heart rate up as well. After this one, we're gonna go on our feet and then just finish some stuff standing, okay? All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. So cross your knees to your opposite hip. Ten more seconds. 3, 2, 1, time. All right, yoga mat gets a little break. All right, next one is gonna be jumping jacks. You have jumping jacks, and then the Ali shuffle. So quick steps to the line, okay? It's gonna be our next one. All right, jumping jacks. Jumping jacks or side step jacks, either ones, okay? 3, 2, 1, go. Side step jacks. It's gonna alternate between jumping jacks and side step jacks. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work. All right, so find a line on the floor, and we're gonna do our quick feet. Okay, so remember this one, we're here, and we're just tapping back and forth. Whew. And then after that one, our last one will be hand to opposite toes. Okay, so that's just right here, and that will be our last one for a little cool down. All right, 3, 2, 1, and begin. Quick feet. Halfway there. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. Whew. If you didn't hear me mention it earlier, it's supposed to be 85 degrees this afternoon, so make sure you're hydrating. 10 more seconds. So hands to opposite toes, okay? And again, thanks for everyone that's been watching the recordings and commenting your initials. I get those notifications, so it helps me, just acknowledge that you completed that workout. So, all right, ready? And begin. So, keep those hands up. Oof, got a little cramp. I'm gonna go make an electrolyte drink right now. Actually, I have my salt capsules right here. I might just take one of my electrolyte capsules. 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. Good job. All right, let's just do a little baby stretch. Okay, so go ahead. Fine, let's do your favorite stretch. It could be on the floor or it could be on the chair like me. So these are my electrolyte capsules right here. So it has vitamin D, calcium, magnesium, chloride, sodium, and potassium. So.
Okay. Ahora sí está bueno, Julio.
Ya estoy cansado. Instead of my left hand, bring that over.
No, tú no debes de cansar, tú estás joven todavía.
Oof. Oh.
Yeah.
So I know it sounds like I'm just complaining, But I think I mentioned, you know, when my grays in my hair were coming through like 15 years ago, and it was like 1 my first year, and then it was like 2, and then 3, and then it just kind of switched. It was kind of just multiplying every year, and I noticed my beard is starting to do that now. So I remember last year I would have one that would come out, and I didn't think much of it, and then now I see like 8 or 9 of them. Tomorrow will be 12. My neck. Hands behind your head, elbows down. I'm gonna do trunk rotation, and then do the other side, and then I need to upload this video onto YouTube so I have enough memory for the next class. So, how's everyone doing? Was that easy? Just right? A little too hard? Switch.
Nah, it was not easy. I sweating a lot. My heart rate went high up. No, it was not easy.
All right. I'm glad. I see a lot of thumbs up. Okay, I'm glad you said you're sweating, because I thought I was just sweating because I'm still like warm or cooling down from the run. So I'm like, maybe that's why I'm still sweating. But yeah, I started sweating after the second block. So great. I'll see some of you in about 15 minutes. If not, then I will see you tomorrow, hopefully. And then, yeah, just keep a lookout for next week, but I'll see you before then. So, yeah, but I'll end this recording, and then I'll see you folks in about 15 minutes. So, all right, see you soon.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Recording
Bye.
stopped.